Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Right, let's do it.
Hello and welcome to my final major project pitch. So, for my idea, I've decided on the Harbour Radio Station in Great Yarmouth. The Harbour Radio Station is a voluntary community-run station broadcasting from the Vicarage Hub, and it started up in 2014. Harbour Radio's current listeners are on average of 19,000 on FM and around the world. Harbour Radio Station focuses on topics of music such as reggae, rock and roll and everything in between. It also features local news, events, community engagements and lots more. For my filming idea, I have decided on making a corporate promotional product for my client's video. A couple of rough ideas I have in mind consist of, at the start of the video you could see the scenery of Great Yarmouth, like an opening shot of the town or the beach. A second idea, I could create an audio of seagulls, as the audience will think, where would you find seagulls at the beach? Someone making a cup of tea for my third idea at the start of the video and then walking into the studio. And I'm going to interview the presenters to find out what goes on behind the scenes. I will make a script to ask them sensible questions. Another idea is that I'm going to film the atmosphere of the studio when people are talking in the background of the video and when people are doing work behind the scenes, like presenters speaking into microphones when broadcasting. Just so when I edit I have enough recording time to change and make the video look better. I want to show the community aspects of the radio station, as the whole idea of the Harbour Radio Station was to have a community and voluntary atmosphere of togetherness. For my target audience and research, I firstly investigated the two most popular topics that the radio station produces, which includes music and the news. I found out different age groups use different ways of finding out the news. So for example, I searched on YouGov.com, how do Brits get their news? My results were, research from YouGov.com showed 18 to 24-year-olds use more of social media aspects like TikTok, Instagram to find out their news. And for 65-year-olds plus, they find out their news from local radio stations, newspapers and news channels like BBC and ITV. I've got some evidence there to show you. The point is that the research I found is positive about Harbour Radio's audience. It's quite a large audience and they don't have a restricted audience that they can target. Their main interested target audience would be people who like listening to the radio or the people who are interested in the stuff they produce as a radio station. My client and communication. My client from Harbour Radio is Nev Moore. I contacted him through the website of Harbour Radio and also contacted him through my stepdad's friends. Nev is one of the presenters on the radio and broadcasts on a Friday at 4 PM with the Soul Jump Show and the other on a Sunday at 8 PM called the Soul Classics and Soul Magic. The radio station got back to me in a couple of days. We spoke about what my plan is and what days it would be best to film. Also my equipment, I'll be using the Zoom mic and the lapel mic to capture background noise and when interviewing the presenters. And I booked out the R10 camera and the tripod to film the scenery and the other atmosphere of the radio station. And then for my feedback, distribution of feedback. For my feedback, I'm going to get the product out to the target audience by putting it onto the Harbour Radio Station's website. I will gather feedback from my client by producing the CPP video and then I'll show it to them to see if they want me to change or add improvements. And then for my target audience feedback, I could link a small survey at the end of the video to get their reviews and feedback of what their thoughts are about. Thank you for listening.
So first off, really confident,
Yeah.
really nice,
Thank
really
you.
nice. So thank you. Feels like you rehearsed that. It's yeah, that's good.
Yeah, she's like, I did 50 times.
I'm really bored of it. Yeah. No, lots of energy and lots of passion, which is great.
Yeah.
Absolutely great.
Thank you.
And it felt natural. It didn't feel like you were reading off the script.
Yeah.
Really, that came across really well.
Thank you.
So thank you. So I'll go on. So really good summary of the brand. what I'd like you to think about, and maybe add to
Yeah.
this pitch, is almost your objective. So we've kind of got two things here. So we've got the fact that it's a local radio station, so we can go and listen to music.
Yeah.
But you also say that you want to show the community aspect to it.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether that's the side that you focus on. So it's all about community.
Yeah, I mean, I will film about like the community side and like how it all works together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're
But
saying.
think about how you're going to show that community.
Yeah.
Because you can do it through symbolism. You know, we
Yeah.
can kind of make sure that every shot you do, there's maybe 2 people in it,
Yeah.
or we kind of start off with one person and then by the end of it we've got a group of people together.
Yeah, that's why I had like so many ideas, because I wanted to like, on the day, it might not even be that idea, it's just so that I can have like a range of ideas and then just understand like, what I might do, because obviously when I get there it might be completely different of what I'm thinking of.
What you've got to do is it's almost got to be the other way around. So you've got to be in control of that situation. So if you decide that it's going to be community, then you need to say, okay, I'd like to do this, this, this and this. So can we make sure these people are here so that we can show this, this, this and this. So you need to storyboard it. And you need to understand what that key message is going throughout it. So just kind of do that pre-preparing rather than just turning up and going, right, I'll see what I can shoot. Because what you could end up doing is you could end up having some interviews and then some shots of people kind of doing the radio, but it not having any
link.
It can get a bit boring as well.
Yeah.
You know? So if we're talking about community, then maybe you have a shot of a family in Great Yarmouth crowded around a table, or or people coming together, or and obviously if it's a community in Yarmouth, then obviously there's you can have shots of Great Yarmouth and stuff like that. So when you ask a person, what is it that you love about this radio station, and why do you think it's suitable in Yarmouth, and they start talking about, well, the beautiful thing about Yarmouth is that it's got a real sense of community during the winter time, and you can actually show those pictures and stuff. So just almost make the film in your head before you go film. Okay. So just think of that. And I really love this idea that you've researched music and news on YouGov. You've suddenly started to get all these things, and that's brilliant. I think if you are focusing on doing soul music, then maybe you get your demographic from that as well. So rather than just saying it's this extensive range, we just target the people who like soul music. It doesn't mean that the people who don't like soul music won't kind of bring that messaging away, but we have that demographic that we can focus on. And you will have a very tight demographic of people that like soul music. Well, actually two, because you'll have the people who were there when it kind of first started, and then I think there's been a new wave of soul as well, so you'll have that kind of that younger generation as well. So you kind of all of that, and then maybe some more research into other films that have been done about radio stations, so that we can have some more examples of visuals. So you can think about how you're going to be shooting that, because there are some codes and conventions. There's you'll have maybe one shot which you'll have somebody in the headphones talking into a microphone. There's loads you'll have the volume lights going up and down, all of those kind of things, but just kind of make sure you've got a bit of a shopping list of those. And then finally, you're going to put it on the website. Really good idea as well about having that survey at the end, so you can get an idea of what people want. I'd suggest also that you think about that distribution. So there will be people on the website, and on their kind of other channels that already know about them, but we want people who don't know about them to find out about them. So if we are focusing on soul, then are there any other groups, Facebook groups, or any groups around Norfolk that like soul music? We don't have to put it on there, but if we can kind of identify those ones that you could put it on there and use it to sell those. So just have a little look for those soul communities.
Yeah.
or people who like community radio, or that kind of thing. Just think about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
Okay. Nice. Oh, only other thing.
Yes.
Sorry.
Fine. Don't
You
worry.
might have a bit of a challenge using music
Yeah.
because they will be using
That's why I
royalty.
wanted to. That's why I kind of officially put it about the news side.
Yeah,
Because I know I
yeah,
said
yeah.
like about the music and the news, but I'm more like focused in on the news side.
And that's about the community
Yeah,
as well, isn't it?
yeah.
So okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so do that, and then we can almost show some of those shots where we're cheating it, where there's different people in different locations around Yarmouth listening to this news
Yeah.
and stuff. So okay, that's fine. But we can also cheat it because we can use whatever the music thing is. I can't remember which one G uses, but. To find soul music, so we just can't use commercial music.
Yeah.
So don't kind of shut that down.
Yeah.
We can just cheat it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry.
You're right, I'm trying to think anything else I can add into it. Yeah, I like the whole community part and maybe how they come together to produce a show,
Yeah.
or maybe like what goes into creating
Yeah.
a show as well,
Mm.
because I'm sure people it's Great Yarmouth, isn't it?
Yeah.
They might know about it, like Harbour Radio,
Mm.
Great Yarmouth, and people might know of it but have never actually listened to it. So if people could see, even people like if you're targeting people in Great Yarmouth,
Mm.
if they could see how much of the community actually come together to create it, or
Mm.
how it's easy to be a part of their radio community, then they might be a good spin on it. And if you are filming in Great Yarmouth and around, it would be good to have some sort of intro about
Yeah.
Great Yarmouth as well, maybe.
That's what I was thinking.
Like
You know,
where
all
it's
them
based
ideas
would
I was
be really
talking
nice.
about. Because I wanted to brainstorm to have like, oh, I could do this. I could make an audio of seagulls or something to like, because obviously it's in the beach area.
Yeah.
Or I could like film Great Yarmouth, the scenery, the town, the beaches, just so
Yeah.
that I can have loads of different shots. So when I edit, I can just like think of different ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So,
I suppose if they are a radio station in Great Yarmouth, they live there, they work there, they might be proud to live in
So,
Great Yarmouth.
yeah.
So maybe that intro can sort of introduce how proud they are that it's in Great Yarmouth
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that. Is it just on their website, did you say, or have they got any other social media?
They have a YouTube and an Instagram account, but I'm mainly focusing on their website because that's how people more likely find them. But yeah.
Yeah. So and that's fine.
Yeah.
Basically, we consume information differently depending where it is. And
Yeah.
if we've already made a decision to find out more about something by going to a website, then
Yeah.
a longer video is, it doesn't
Yeah.
need to be that kind of, you don't need to grab people's attention as
Mm.
quickly. But we just need to think about how we can use that video to bring people to the website
Yeah.
as well. So,
Yeah.
or recut it so that it works on Instagram, or just kind of work out
Yeah.
how we're going to distribute it. But, yeah.
And then what I've put just through going
yeah.
through your proposal
Mm.
is in here, and I suppose not really on your pitch either, but as long as you put it in one or the other
Mm.
before it goes on your website, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's just to give us more visuals on maybe how you might frame your interviews,
Oh right.
how
Yeah.
you might
Okay.
film certain elements, more sort of little styles and techniques that you've maybe taken inspiration from other promos that you might incorporate in yours.
Yeah. All right. I'll
And
do
then
that.
it
Yeah.
sort of shows that you're like picking apart the codes and conventions of other things to then put it into yours,
Yeah.
so you're following them. So that's the only real thing that you're missing in your proposal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is what I would say.
just some more pictures and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like any editing techniques that you might want to try,
Mm.
if you're filming things in a certain way or using lighting for the first time,
Mm.
and things like that, just make sure you've got some visuals to show us how
Yeah.
it
All
will
right.
be done. But yeah, other than that, we're
Brilliant. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Thank you.
Nice one.
in.
Nice
I'll
one.
add my one onto your pitch, onto your